Garrett Soldano joining us in just a moment. First, this is the new ad that is about to start running as a TV ad. The woke groomer mafia, he says on Twitter, is targeting our kids with their radical ideology. Parents, it's time to fight back. As governor, I will make Michigan the parents' rights capital of America. And he talks about the new campaign ad. He said, join our campaign to transition woke Whitmer out of office. Here's that ad for folks that are watching live behind the scenes live stream on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, and Getter. And you can listen to it here on the radio.
All students are welcome to utilize gender reassignment services today in the gym. This is confidential. Your parents will not be notified.
I'm Garrett Soldano, and I don't co-parent with the government. My pronouns, conservative, patriot. The woke groomer mafia wants to indoctrinate and subjugate our kids to their warped fantasies. It's time to fight back. As governor, I'll turn Michigan into the parents' rights capital of America and transition Walt Whitmer out of office.
Garrett Soldano for governor.
There you have it, Garrett. This is causing a lot of controversy online. I think that's probably some of that is planned and intentional. It's got people talking at least. But this is a conversation, at least a topic that I think a lot of parents, a lot of folks do find at the center of some of the biggest issues happening in our country right now happen to be what's happening to our kids.
Governor,
welcome in. Appreciate you being here with us today. Bring us a list on this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand why we're even talking about this. I mean, where do we live in? Bizarro land, the clown show, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's amazing that when they go left, they go way left, and they continue to push this agenda. And like many Michiganders and Americans, we're all just fed up. The majority of people do not want this indoctrination of what's going on. And that's what I'm going to do as Michigan's next governor is we're going to turn Michigan into parents' right capital of the America. And we're going to do the same things that Governor DeSantis is doing in the state of Florida, is working with the legislature to get rid of this gender and sexual theory that they continue to hammer down on our kids. I mean, it's just unacceptable.
So obviously, this is something that you just mentioned. DeSantis has been, he's been a champion of fighting back the parents' rights bill. No doubt you're going to be targeted like he was. The "Don't Say Gay" bill is what they tried to call it there in Florida. That kind of backfired on him, especially Disney. It seems like this is mainstream. As much as they want to call these things extremist or extreme, these views, that, hey, maybe we shouldn't talk about this stuff, sexuality, gender, all these things, especially with kids as young as elementary school.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the stuff that they're trying to push right now in some of these states, I got it right here: sex hormones at age 14, breast removal at age 15, genital surgeries at age 17. You know, when did we ever think this was okay? You know, I've been talking to a lot of teachers about this, and they're concerned just as much as all of us. Because what's happening is a lot of these kids are just doing this for attention at a very young age. And so we're going to scar these kids permanently. I mean, we're already in a mental health crisis. So, hey, let's just throw more gasoline on the fire of the mental health crisis with creating confusion in these kids. These kids at these young ages, they don't care about any of this garbage. If you want to teach my kid critical anything at this age, how about critical math, critical science, critical reading, just teach them the right history. You know, and the biggest thing is if you want to teach my kid how to critically think, that's fine, but not what to think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think how to think is something that is it's a lost art. Teaching people how to think in schools, what to think is a completely different deal. All right, Garrett, I got to ask you, this is news out today about this poll that broke this morning. It's Epic MRA, shows some of the leaders. Now, this is only 400 people in this poll, but you're certainly in the top of this. You and Ryan Kelly are at the top spots here in the poll. It's 400 people who said they were likely to vote in the Republican primary. It's not a lot of people, but this did happen. This poll did take place on June 10th, between June 10th and the 13th, and that was the day after Ryan's home was raided by the FBI. So it does take into consideration some of those folks hearing about this. I think I want to get your take on that. But also, the other thing that I found kind of be interesting about this is that there was also a big number of people, 40-something percent, 47%, I think it was, that still say they are still undecided, and what that might mean for you as far as winning some of these folks over.
Yeah, I mean, polls, we all know polls are garbage. I don't put any weight on any polls. One thing that's been for sure is out of the 8 or 9 polls that we've been watching, we're consistently up near the number one spot, just a couple points but behind. And the number one spot seems like it always fluctuates with a lot of different candidates. So we've been very consistent with our polling, which is good. But you hit the nail on the head. I'm more concerned about that 45% undecided. And that's what we've been seeing in a lot of these polls is almost half, 45 to 50% are still undecided. So those are a lot of voters that you need to appeal to. And that's one thing that's for certain is we all are in this same game to get the same thing accomplished is to beat Governor Whitmer. So we have to ask ourselves, what candidate can beat Governor Whitmer? What candidate can bring the majority of this battleground state over to our side so we can retire Whitmer and get rid of her her woke groomer mafia, as we called it? And so that's what we're targeting right now. And if you don't get on media, if you don't get name recognition, then you're dead in the water. And that's one thing that we've been able to do is fundraise. And we talked about that many, many times is our ability to raise over $2 million and 96% of that money comes from under the amount of $200. And that ad that everyone just saw, that's going up on TV today. And we're going to be on TV from here on out. So that 45% is what we're targeting right now is showing those people why we're the candidate to lead. And I'm the only one that's running right now. It's actually went up against Governor Whitmer and won. We're 1-0 against her. And so I plan on being 2-0. So if people out there that are watching, you want to dethrone Governor Whitmer, then I'm the candidate to get the job done. And I have a proven track record of not only leading, but inspiring Michigan's greatest asset. And that is the people to get things done. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
Garrett Soldano's with us right now. He's running as one of the folks, the 5 that'll be on the ballot for the gubernatorial race here in Michigan, and one of the Republicans. Here's another stat that came out of this poll. Again, this is Epic MRA. It just came out today, and it says 61% of the folks polled, 400 there, believe Biden stole the election. Only 22% Biden won the election, but there's still a 17% that said undecided, and I think this is probably more likely, refused to answer the question. But, those are pretty big numbers. It means only 22% believe right now that election in 2020 was legitimate.
Well, like everyone out there, if you haven't watched 2000 Mules, you need to. There's video evidence. And I was talking to a journalist the other day, I think from the Detroit Free Press, and he was calling me like, how can you not call yourself a radical right extremist when you say the election was stolen? And I looked at him and I said, hey, have you seen 2000 Mules? He said, yes. And I said, well, there's video evidence of people dropping off ballots at multiple locations. And I played the devil's advocate with them. I said, hey, you know what? We don't know if those ballots were for President Trump or for President Biden. But you know what we need to do is we need to bring every single one of these mules in and investigate and find out what was going on. And so that's what you kind of hit them right in the face with that, because it's just common sense. We've seen the video evidence. We know there were shenanigans done. Now we need the corrupt FBI, which we all know is garbage, to do what they need to do and start bringing these mules in and investigating. Because, again, what I don't like hearing on the trail, Justin, is people saying I'm not going to vote because it's not going to count. And, folks, you got to understand, you have to vote. If you stay home, then that's a vote for Whitmer. And I guarantee you this, once we win, because there's a lot going on right now, I think the market just crashed by 600 or 700 points at the opening bell because of interest rates. Folks, it's going to get worse. And so you need to show up on election day and need to support whoever wins the primary so we can dethrone Governor Whitmer, because we have to take back our state and we need to right the ship. But most importantly, we need to take back lost ground to take back our country back in 2024. It's not going to be a red wave here in November, folks. It's going to be a red tsunami. And if we handle things the right way and we continue to have conversation and continue to bring more people to our side, it will be a 100-year red storm. And that's how we get our republic back. That's what's at stake.
Yeah, the numbers were down. Dow futures were down all morning. At one point, as high as or as low as 600. Now we're looking at down 778 points. The Dow is down 778 points as we speak, and this is all, again, as you mentioned, on that news of the Fed and the interest rates hike. Let me ask you this, and then we'll let you go. I know you're busy, a lot going on today, but today, Ryan Kelly is going to be back in court for a hearing today with those misdemeanor charges. Again, the arrest was, I guess, a week ago. Was it last Thursday? The FBI came to his home. Seems to be targeted in this situation. And I know that you had spoken out as well as others that are in this race together about this, what's happened here, and how this seems to be a very politically motivated event. I just wanted to, get your take and your chance to talk about that a little bit. Do you fear that you'll be targeted? This is something that we're seeing happen quite a bit these days, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I was targeted last year. The FBI came over my house and questioned me because somebody called me a radical right extremist. And that's one thing that we have to do now is unite. And I know everybody's jockeying for this position to win the primary, and I can respect that. But again, we need to get behind whoever wins this primary. And whoever does, if it's me, if I'm blessed to be the leader of this beloved state, I'm going to do it the best of my ability. I'm going to beat Governor Whitmer. But unfortunately, if it's not me, I will be supporting whoever wins that primary because, again, we all have the same goal as to beat Governor Whitmer. And so we're going to have to find out what the voters want. But again, I'm going after that 45% that's undecided right now. And I'm going to let them know that, hey, look, you're getting a leader and you're getting a fighter. And you have somebody that's been standing up ever since the beginning, over 2 years now, to fight back against Governor Whitmer, because you're not going to fight and beat her on the debate stage with who can fix the damn roads better. How you're going to beat Governor Whitmer is accountability. And I'm the candidate who's been holding her accountable for the last 2 years, and I will hold her accountable again on the debate stage, and we will dethrone her, and we will make sure that we're riding the ship in Michigan.
Garrett Soldano, appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today, and of course, give us the latest on all of this. Website and ways that folks can keep up with you. What's the best way to do that?
You can go to our website, GarrettForMichigan.com. That's 2 R's, 2 T's, FOR, GarrettForMichigan.com. And we appreciate everyone's support right now. But what we need more than anything else is your financial commitment. That is one thing for sure, is there's a candidate out there who's bought and paid for by the old guard, the establishment. We have self-funders. We want real now. We want Americans. And so it's time for you to get involved in our campaign and donate whatever you can so we can make sure to make Michigan the powerhouse of the nation and make sure that we are being that beacon of light and hope for other people to continue to join.
Garrett Soldano, appreciate it. Of course, you want to see that the new commercial. We've got that up on Twitter as well, but it'll be up on the stack at our website later on today. GarrettForMichigan.com. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you being here with us today.
God bless you, Justin. Keep hammering down, brother. Appreciate you.